everybody, welcome back to my channel. I've got another unboxing for you today, and this time it's from Chuyu Culture. The only way I can open this box is if I cut right through this customs form here, but I want to save the customs form. So the only way I can do this is I'm going to have to blur out the part where I remove this paper, I peel off the customs form, and then I will cut open the box and then we can go through the stuff together. While you watch me open this in the background, I thought I'd mention the shipping situation, since it has changed due to the fact that there's a pandemic going on still. I ordered my Chuyu Culture order off of a site called Pinkoi. The Pinkoi is like a storefront, and it's like the Asian version of Etsy. Both Pinkoi and Chuyu Culture are based in Taiwan. This is the second year that I've ordered from Chuyu Culture, and the third time I've used the Pinkoi website to order the items. There was a pre-order period in the beginning of September for their 2021 items, and I took advantage of that. But due to the pandemic, shipping options outside of Taiwan was quite limited. In fact, there wasn't any shipping at all from Taiwan to Canada, which is where I'm from, until September 11th. Then on September 11th, they resumed shipping, but only for their EMS shipping service. The EMS shipping costs more. But when I paid Chuyu Culture via the Pinkoi website, I had only paid for the, lower shipping option. That wasn't enough for the EMS shipping. So when Chuyu Culture realized this, they contacted me immediately and they said, either we can refund you or you can pay extra for freight shipping. They called EMS freight. I messaged them back asking for a quote, and they gave me the number for how much additional I had to pay for shipping, which I agreed to pay, and they shipped it out promptly. I believe they shipped it out on September 14th, and I got it exactly 1 week later in my mailbox. So 1 week across the world, I think, is pretty fast. After I received my order and did the unboxing, I realized that Chuyu Culture had updated their Pinkoi website to no longer allow any shipping to Canada. It made sense for them to remove the old shipping fees that I had originally paid because that's no longer available. But that doesn't mean that they couldn't ship to Canada at all, which is what it was looking like. So I decided to contact them before I put up this video to see whether they could offer shipping to Canada, even if the only way to do so was to contact them directly. They messaged me back really quickly and they said, yes, we can ship to Canada if you pay for a freight, which is EMS. And then I noticed after that, they updated the website so that you can ship to Canada again. I think that's really great. I think it shows how quick their customer service is. And now the shipping is available again, but it is quite costly now. I don't know about the shipping situation for every country. I know that shipping is limited also for Australia because that's what they told me, but you're going to have to check for each country. Still got stuff to cover up here, but before I open it up, I thought I'd just show you the side of the box, which is nice. It says Chuyu Culture here. It's a stationery, don't let your dreams be dreams. And then on this side, it has the address and the contact info for Chuyu Culture if you wanted to check them out. And this side is the same. Okay, everything is packed in bubble wrap. And I did get quite a few books, so this is very heavy. First up, there's a nice postcard. Thank you. And this looks like, I cannot read Chinese, unfortunately, so you can see if you can translate that or not. This is probably my invoice. And this is the only non-notebook item that I got in my order. And this is a kind of wallet insert. So let me open it up. Here's the information on that, and it's 200 Taiwanese dollars. this one wasn't on sale, whereas the rest of these were 10% off. So here, it's a cute little kind of fabric insert. It's got a floral pattern on it in a navy blue, which I like. And then it's got a yellow lining, a little pocket here, and a pocket here, and a slide out card holder. So this is plastic and this frosted plastic. So what I plan to do is use this for my wallet. Let me grab a wallet. Now this is a traveler's notebook in the nano size from Chic Sparrow. I did unbox it previously. I haven't moved into it yet, but I want to use this as my wallet. And I thought that this might work as a wallet insert. So just looking at the height, it does fit inside. So let's see how it works. There is a little bit of crumpling up of the fabric, which is because the traveler's notebook, the holes for the traveler's notebook is a little bit shorter than this, but otherwise I think it's okay. I just straighten it out a bit, and because it's fabric, it's not, I hope it doesn't rip. I think this will do. Now it might start sticking out a little bit because once I put this in, it will get fatter, but we shall see. And then I'm planning on putting something else under the smaller string. So let's get into the notebooks. I will go into the biggest item first. You can see I have 2 identical notebooks here. And then finally this one. So this time it comes in a very nice box. So this is their 2021 one day, one page grid diary in the A5 size. And I did get it with a cover to go with it. So this particular cover comes in 2 different styles. It's the whale one here, which is like a gray fabric with blue whales on it, and this floral one. They also have another listing where they have a similar cover, but I think in a different material, and that would have more choices than these 2. The version that I got here is one that comes with a cover. And you can see that it looks a lot like those Hobonichi covers. This one is made out of fabric. I'm not sure what the Hobonichi ones are made out of. I think some of them might be kind of a plasticky kind of material. I'm not sure. But this one is definitely fabric. It is soft. It's got this gray fabric and blue whales and teal whales on it. Same with the back. And this one has a pocket at the back. And then there are 2 pen loops here, which you can use to slide in a pen, and you can use that to hold the planner together or the cover together. Here's the side view and the top view and the back view. Now, I did get the B6 version of this last year, or rather for 2020. And I will show you that right now because it also came with a planner inside, but I have taken out the planner. It did come with this vinyl cover on cover, or what I'm guessing is called cover on cover. And they use that to protect the fabric inside. So there's a little slot here, you can slide it in, and there's a hole here so you can put the pen loop through. And that's just to protect it. So for some reason, this one doesn't come with a cover on cover, but I do know that Chuyu Culture sells them separately. I mean, the vinyl cover separately. And so if you can find that on the website and you wanted to cover this up, then you could definitely do that. Now, I assumed that this version, the A5 version, would come with the cover on cover, but I guess it doesn't. But another thing I have to note is this B6 version doesn't have a back pocket on the back, whereas this one does. And this cover came in the gift box, whereas this one didn't. I think it just came in a plastic wrap or a plastic bag. So I'm guessing that because this one has the back pocket, then it doesn't come with a cover on cover. But I'm pretty sure if you buy the cover on cover separately, then it would be able to fit. And then maybe you just cannot use the cover or the pocket in the back. So you can check the website for that. I do kind of wish it came with the cover on cover, but it doesn't. Now the planner inside, it's the same as last year. You can get the planner separately, or you can get the planner and the cover together like I have now, but you can't get the cover by itself. It has to come with the planner. They do have some standalone fabric covers that you can get, but it's not this exact same design. So I feel like Chuyu Culture has a lot of different designs available, and they also seem to be available for 1 year only, because for 2021 this cover is not available anymore, and they're all new designs for the B6 version of this. Now the planner, like I said, it does come separately. The reason I mentioned that is because I did get this exact same planner without the fabric cover, and that's what these two are. So the standalone planners are cheaper, of course, whereas this one is more expensive because it comes with a cover, and it just comes with a plastic wrap over it, which tears really easily, but it's the same contents inside. Now, the reason why there are two different covers is because if you remove it, the cover is not attached to the planner itself. I'm going to remove this here, and you can see that there's a planner here, and the cover is just a cover like that. Oops. And just to show you, I will take this planner out of the cover. You can see that it's exactly the same. It's a plain kind of beige cover here, and with a black tape to show cover the binding. You can see here, it's like 460 pages of Tomoe River goodness. You can see here. So I'm going to do a quick flip through of this. I want to see how different it is compared to the 2020 version that I got. And it comes in not just A5, but it comes in B6, like I showed you, and it comes in A6. I did do a flip through of the B6 version of this planner for 2020, which is the one right here. And I've used this. It lasted me a good 6 months. Love it. And I did get the A5 instead for 2021. You can see that it's just so if you're curious, this planner has held up really well. I didn't really stuff it that much with stuff, but the binding is really nice. It's just that the cover here is rather plain, and it's gotten bent quite a bit because I stick it inside my leather covers like this. You can see the cover doesn't really hold up that well. And also, I could have already liked that because this one has a gray end paper and this one has a brown end paper, which is quite nice. I also want to see whether or not the paper in here is the same as the paper in the 2020 version. That's because they both use the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, and that's the thicker version of the Tomoe River paper. I know that in late 2019, the company that makes this paper changed their manufacturing process so that the paper is now supposedly the same weight, but it's got different qualities. It's a little bit thicker. So I don't know if this planner, I don't know if this planner will have the same paper as this, but we shall see. Want to do a pen test in here and then kind of see how it performs. Although I'm not an expert and I don't know if I can really tell if there's going to be a big difference or not, but if I don't detect a big difference and this happens to be the new paper, then that's good for me. So let's go into the planner itself. It's a 2021 diary, 1 day, 1 page grid diary, designed and manufactured in Taiwan. So the first page, you get the year at a glance, which is 2021 and 2022. And then at the bottom, they have all in Chinese, the different public holidays. The calendar here does have a Monday start. And I've noticed that the Saturday and Sunday, so the weekend of each week, the font is bolded. The ink is the same as last year. It's a sort of greeny gray. I call it a sepia type color, which at first I wasn't sure if I liked, but I've been using it for 9 months now, and I'm pretty used to it. It doesn't really make a big difference that this color is not, let's say it's not a dark gray, it's more of like a sepia greenish gray. This is new. They have a year planner. You have all of the 12 months here in columns, and then you have Monday, Tuesday, so all of the weeks going down here like this. And then you have these little boxes here, which is like a whole year in a glance. They do have a lot of shaded areas. So again, the weekends are shaded in the darker color. And then all of the public holidays here are also shaded. And they also must be showing the public holidays here in Chinese, like this. So these pages I translated before, but from what I remember from last year, this is sort of a goal setting page. You set up your goals, you have different areas of your life for all the different columns, and then you kind of write your goal and how you expect to break down that goal over the next year, the year after that, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. So it's a kind of long-term vision goal setting page. And if you don't want to use it that way, then you can just use this as a table and write whatever you like on it. Same with this, yearly goals. They have 12 boxes here for each month of the year. And then in each box, they have these little check boxes. So again, you can put down the goals that you want to focus on for that particular month as well. And then we get into the calendar pages. So I really like this calendar format. It's a Monday start again. They have very big boxes for the A5 size. There's a little sidebar on the left here, and it's got a small grid, which is a 3mm grid. And then it has a month at the top. The Saturday and Sunday here are shaded. So here you can see a little bit more clearly what I mean by the color of the ink. This is the same color as the rest of the ink here. It's a very like a greenish gray. For each day of the month, they have the Gregorian calendar date, and then they have the lunar calendar date. If you're ever curious about what the day is in the lunar calendar, you can do that. And then for some of the more bigger holidays, they have a little bit of a shaded box at the bottom. This one is New Year's Day, which is public holiday. And for some of the smaller public holidays in Taiwan, then they have the holiday in the bottom here as well. So this goes on for 13 months. It goes from January to December 2021. 2021, and then they have the extra month for the first month of January 2022. So this is pretty much the exact same as last year. And then you get into the daily pages. So there are 365 pages of these. You can see it goes to December 31st. Most of it is a grid format, which is 4mm grid, which I absolutely love. And on each page, you have the month at the top in the English format and the numerical format. Then you have the day of the month, and it's a Saturday. And then next to the Saturday, it has the lunar calendar date again. And then on the right, it has the day of the year, the number which is the day of the year. So I really like this because I treated this number as a page number, but I didn't like that the page number on this side, on the left-hand side, is on the right, because I tend to like having to see the page number mirrored. Whereas if you had a number 1 here and then 2 here, and then it should really say 3 here and 4 here. But that's a minor detail. Each page, there is a timeline on the side here. It starts from 6 a.m. and it goes to 6 a.m. So it's a full 24-hour timeline. And for each 4mm square, that counts as 1 hour. But they don't list all 24 hours, they skip an hour. So it starts from 6 and it goes to 8, and then it goes to 4, and then 2 more squares, then that will be 6 a.m. again. They do have a darker line down the side here just to separate out the timeline from the rest of the grid page, and it kind of lines up with the box here, which I like. Then once it gets to the end of the timeline, then the line disappears and you get the rest of the grid. But there is a little white space here, or a blank space here, where it's just blank. At the bottom here, you get a little calendar here of the month, and then the 2 days that are in this particular spread, so the first and the second, are shaded in gray. And you notice, by the way, that this notebook lies pretty flat. You can see I opened it, it just laid flat. If I opened it to this, maybe I have to press down a little bit, but it does lay flat, which I really like. And what else do I want to say about this? It does have these quotes at the bottom. They have a phrase or a sentence in English. This one says, "Who is the cutest girl in class?" Okay. And then they have the Chinese translation of it underneath. Then on the right side, and I've never translated this, but I'm pretty sure that this is Japanese. And then this could be the same quote on this side. The last thing about the daily page is that they do have the month on the side here in a square, so that you can see when you close the planner, there's a line going down here, so you can quickly flip to a certain month if you knew which months to look at. So this one should be April. Oh no, it's May. Okay, I can't count. But yeah, this is the 5th month. It should be April. And so you can quickly get to a certain month if you like to do it this way. Lots of pages here to use. Then when you get to the back, you get some blank pages. So this is half blank at the top, except it does say date at the top. And then there's some graph pages at the bottom. It's probably a good place to draw some diagram here and do some numbers here. And after the 3 pages of that, they have these 2 completely blank pages. Now, because this is Tomoe River paper, it does ghost. So you can see through this blank page the table that's on the back of the page. Now, this one is another list. It says the present list. I did translate it before. I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure this says something like date. And then you get to specify whether you're sending the present or getting the present. And then what is the present and why you're getting them, whoever you are getting a present or gift to, and then some memo. I never used this when I used it for 2020, but it's nice to know that it's here. Next page we get to is 2 pages of favorites. There's a space for you to write the date, and then you can write down your favorite, whatever it is. You can rank what certain items. For example, your favorite cafe or your favorite book. There's a space here to write a little bit about whatever you're reviewing, and then some stars here so you can color in the stars and give it a rating. At the top here, there are these little icons which you can circle to signify what you're reviewing. So it looks like here there's a movie icon, a book, a music, dining, shopping, and probably event or something like that. Then there's 1 page of this free list, which is just a lined page with some checkboxes on the left and a very faint line here, which makes a different column, I suppose. And I never used this in 2020, but you could use it for a list and just write whatever type of list you want. Now, I remember in 2020, they did have 2 pages of this, not 1 page. I think it's probably just because last year was a leap year and this year is not a leap year. And here they have what I believe is the lines of all the Taiwanese rails, which I never use. And then we have more Taiwanese maps for the high-speed rail, the Taipei Metro map, and the Taichung and Kaohsiung Metro map. So this one is new. So they have that. And I'm glad that they put it together, all grouped together this year. Because last year they didn't. They had something in between. But that's probably more useful if you live in Taiwan than if you live in Canada. But I do appreciate that they have this here for people who do use it in Taiwan. And when I used this in 2020, what I did was I taped over it with a metro map for my own country or my own city. So it's nice to have that spot here to tape things in. Then we get to the end of the planner. We have a space here for addresses, names, telephone, email, and address. And then on the back here, we have another page to put your own personal information, such as name, telephone number, and email. There's also a ruler here if you needed to use that. And then we get to the end of the planner. On the last page here, they've printed out the contact details again for Chuyu Culture. And this time it's kind of foiled now. It's got this gold foil to it, which is nice. And you get to the end of the planner. In terms of the design, it's pretty much the same as last year, except for, I guess, some of the colors, like this end paper here, and some of the page, the way that they lay out the pages in the back here are slightly different, but pretty much the same. And this is the only kind of new page that I noticed inside the planner. Before, it used to be some catalog of the Chuyu Culture products, and now it's this year planner, which you can probably find some use for. So let me get to the pen test, and hopefully this will be exactly the same too. I'm going to just pick a random blank page here. Should I use this one? Okay, I'll use this one. So I'm going to... So here's my pen test. These are some of the most common pens I use in here. The only thing is I don't always use these fountain pens in here, but I know since this is TRP and it's good for fountain pens, then I put those two. So this first one is also a fountain pen. It's the Platinum Carbon Black ink. And this one is the TWSBI Eco with the Organic Studio Nitrogen. And this one, last one, is the TWSBI Eco with Robert Oster Fire and Ice. And I picked these two because the first one here is it sheens a lot, and so does this, or it shades a lot, and it sheens a bit. So I wanted to see if that shows up on this paper. And then I used the highlighter over all of these pens to see whether they would smear. And it did smear on this Pentel Touch Brush pen and a little bit on the fountain pen ink. But that's a surprise to me because usually this ink doesn't smear, but the other two are fine. And usually the Zebra Sarasa Dry, the gel pen, smears for me. So I don't know what's happening there. Let's see. You can see there's no bleed through, which is good. There is quite a bit of ghosting, as you can tell. Let me see if I can detect the sheen on this. The Robert Oster Fire and Ice, there is a teensy bit of shading, but it does come out kind of one color. And the TWSBI Eco, I can definitely see a sheen, but that's a very heavy sheen. It's a very heavy sheening ink. Yeah, I can see it. So I'm pretty pleased with that. It pretty much feels the same as well. So I'm going to quickly do this exact same pen test on my older TRP paper. I'm not sure if this is the newer one or not, and we'll see how it looks. So here's the finished pen test in the B6 size. This is 2020, last year's. I mean, it's pretty much the same. The highlighter doesn't smear with this fountain pen ink anymore, which is what I expected. It does smear with the brush pen, which is, this is a water-based brush pen, so that's pretty much why. And it's smeared with the gel pen, which is what I thought would happen here too. So you can compare and see whether or not it's the same. I feel like it's the same. It feels the same to the touch as well. Now we get to the very last notebook in this unboxing, and this is a daily diary. I was intrigued by this because, as you can see, I've only gotten the Tomoe River paper, the TRP paper planners from Chuyu Culture, but they have so many other different planners. If you don't like the kind of grid format of the Tomoe River paper planner, then you could look at the lined options or the 2 days on one page or 2 pages on 1 week options. And I looked at all of those, and I ultimately really did like the 1 day 1 page grid diary, especially because of the paper. But because I wanted to at least try one of their offerings, I decided to pick this one. And this is a daily diary. It is in the B6 size. Let me compare it to my B6. It's the same height and the same width. Now, keep in mind that this B6 is even bigger than a regular B6 JIS size. It's even taller than that, and I go through that in my original video. But it is the same size. In terms of Chuyu Culture, they call this B6, and so this is the same B6 size. And it does not have the Tomoe River paper, or TRP. It is also a diary. Let's see, this was my first time seeing it. It has this end paper here, which is different. It's a more textured end paper. So it's an interesting, it's more like the cover of the Taroko Design journal, the Tomoe River paper journal. But that's what the end paper is like. And then you have this paper, which is rather smooth. It's quite thick. I believe it's 100 GSM paper, and they call it extra fine paper or something like that from Japan. I wrote down a note somewhere, but I'll put it on the screen somewhere exactly what type of paper it is. And again, I wanted to see if this paper would work just as nicely as the TRP, in case I wanted to get something from Chuyu Culture that wasn't TRP. Now this is a 6 month undated planner. And you notice they may have misspelled months here. But they do have two-page spread here with 6 columns. And I guess you can write down the days of the month here. Although it doesn't look like there's space for 31 days. So I'm not sure. And then there's a grid at the bottom. So I picked this one because it not only is it a different paper, but it's more of a decoration to it. It's more like a guided diary. You can see this kind of watercolor effect here and here. And then you get into the month view. So it's pretty much the same format as the other one. It's got the shaded weekends, but now the days of the month are blank, so you can fill them in yourself. They also have a sidebar here, and you can write in the day of the particular month that you want to start on here. And it's got a nice decorated watercolor effect here. Now the grid here looks a lot bigger than the 3mm one in the other planner. Maybe it's 4mm here. Each month has a different design, which is really pretty. And then you get to the dailies. Got a grid here. It looks like 4mm grid. And then it doesn't have the quotes at the bottom, which is really nice. It's got a blank space here for you to put the date. And it's got the timeline, no, it's not 24 hours this time. It's from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Which is, what, 12 hours? No, 18 hours, sorry. And then you have a little space at the top where you can check the day of the week as well, which is nice. And then all of the pages go here. So it's 6 months. I'm guessing it's something like 180 pages of this grid paper like this. So it comes with these stickers. I guess you could use these stickers on the months. Maybe you can use the sticker here. Let's flip to the back. The notes pages here, same as the other planner, except again with the decoration. These little fishies here. And now this has blank grid pages. There's quite a few. And more blank, completely blank pages with the decoration. And this page you get the top. Okay, it looks like a place where you can put the top things that happen perhaps for each month. A notes page, which is lined. A free list where you have a column here which is lined with checkboxes, and then on the right side is a grid, which is nice. I actually would like it in the other planner. I would like this more than the other one, with the grid especially. There's how many of these free list pages? 2. And then a contact information page. This one I like too. It's more cleaner than the other planner. You just have a name, you have your telephone number, and you have remarks. And same personal information here where you write down your own personal information, and then the end page. And then the back again, you have the details in gold foil of Chuyu Culture. Whoa, I really like this. This is really nice. So I'm going to do a pen test as well. I may cut it out because I'm running out of battery now. I'm at 10% battery. But we'll see, because I'm interested to see, like I said before, how I like this paper. It does feel a little bit more, I don't know, sticky compared to the Tomoe River paper. Whereas the other one, the TRP, when you run your fingers over the TRP, your fingers glide across the page. Whereas this one has a little bit of a sticky feel to it. And it's definitely thicker too. But it feels very smooth as well, quite smooth, which is nice. Less texture than some of the other thicker papers as well. I did a pen test for this diary off the camera, and unfortunately it's not that fountain pen friendly. You can see all the results there. I did switch up the fountain pens because I cannot find my TWSBI Eco white pen. In each of the 4 fountain pens that I used, I could see some feathering, some very slight and some more easier to see than others. If you flip over to the next page, there is some bleed through, especially for the medium and stub fountain pens. I don't think that's acceptable. It's not something that I would personally like when it comes to fountain pen friendly paper. But if you just stuck to gel pens or the Tombow brush markers or the brush pens, then that should be good enough. So I hope that was useful. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.